Good evening, everybody. This is Clovel Oliphant from MWR Financial. I'm an Area Director, and I'm here with Mr. Charles Ivory, nicknamed the Waymaker. I call him the Haymaker, but I'm gonna stick to what they say, the Waymaker. So we're here to talk to you and just have a conversation. So we just want to be transparent and get to know each other. So I'm gonna start off by asking you a couple questions, Mr. Ivory. First and foremost, who is Mr. Ivory? Who is Charles Ivory? Who are you?
Wow, that's a good question. Well, I'm retired, 24 years military. I'm a father. I'm a husband, grandfather. I got six grandkids. Actually, I'm sorry, eight.
Mm-hmm.
Eight grandkids. I'm a business owner. I'm a football, basketball, baseball coach. I'm a deacon in my church. I'm also the assistant finance director at the church as well as run the media department. So I wear a number of hats, you know.
Okay. So let me ask you this. What was your first job? What was your first job?
My first job, I used to work out at Beach Pocket Parks in Galveston, Texas. At the age of 12, used to pick up trash on the beach.
Really?
Yeah. And back then, you know, it wasn't so big on the birth certificates. You know, you can get a job without your birth certificate just as long as you would bring it to them later. So I used to hold a job like for maybe a month before they let me go because I was always too young to work.
So you from Texas, you said?
I'm from Texas. I'm from Galveston, Texas.
Born and raised?
Born and raised.
Okay.
Cornbread fed.
How many siblings do you have? You have a big family or small family?
No, I have one. I have a sister. I always wanted big families, but my mom was smart. You know, she says, hey, you know, I can only feed two. So ain't no sense in keep having these babies if I can only feed two. So it's just me and my sister.
Okay, that's awesome. That's awesome. So what's your favorite color? Like, what's your favorite color?
Black.
Black?
Yeah, I love black and blue. Black and blue. Yeah.
Okay. And what's your favorite football team?
The Dallas Cowboys. See, blue and silver.
Now, I'm an Eagles fan. You know I'm from Philadelphia.
Oh, man.
But it's not that serious.
So we're right. Yeah.
It's not that serious. You know, I like the Philadelphia Eagles and I like the Pittsburgh Steelers, but mainly everything Philadelphia. No matter how bad we jack it up.
Yeah.
But it's all good. But I don't get too deep with it though. You know.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, actually, you know, when I started off, I was a Houston Oilers fan. You know, love me some Billy White, Shoe Johnson, and Warren Moon, Earl Campbell. But then they left Houston. They went to Tennessee and became the Tennessee Oilers. And so when they left, I switched over to Dallas. And then when the Texans came, you know, to me, they wasn't Houston to me. The Texans just didn't feel like the Houston Oilers to me. So I stuck with Dallas, and I've been with them ever since.
Great. So how long you been married? And also too, I hear your queen has a unique nickname.
Yeah. I've been married for 17 years now. All right, and it's been a blessing. And her nickname is Cookie.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, how did that come? Is that your nickname for her, or is that her universal nickname?
No, that's a universal nickname. She was in the military.
Okay.
And the way she got that nickname, you know, her maiden name was Cook.
Okay.
You know, so instead of saying Cook, somehow it came out to be Cookie. So she kept.
All right, that's awesome. So how did you and the first lady meet the queen? How did y'all meet?
Now that was interesting, man. We was in Schweinfurt, Germany, and I had just bought a new motorcycle. I had a Kawasaki 1200, and a friend of mine was driving down the street and saw me, and she stopped me, and Cookie just happened to be in the passenger seat. So, you know, I spoke to the ladies, let them know that I had just bought a motorcycle. I was excited. And so she asked me for a ride. And I say, well, hey, let me give you a ride.
Who, Cookie actually for
Yeah, she said, hey, you gonna let me ride? I'm like, absolutely. You know, now this is a funny story because, you know, we made arrangements to take this ride. And she was in the military, so she was in full BDU sitting down in the car. So she gave me the address to her home. Well, actually right outside her home. We met at a gas station. And she came around the corner and she just blew my mind because you know how you look in BDUs. You know, you got your hair pinned up, BDUs. I mean, she looked really great. But when I saw her in civilian clothes and the hair down, and then she had this top with her stomach out and these tight jeans, oh man, it was over for me.
It was a wrap then, huh?
It was a wrap for me, man. So on the back of a motorcycle, see, Germany don't have no speed limits, right? So you just get on the Autobahn and just go.
You put your bike on the Autobahn?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So I felt that if I wanted her to, you know, squeeze up against me, I need to turn the throttle. So we went from Schweinfurt to Würzburg at 185 miles an hour.
Wow.
Man, when I talk about this woman was pressed up against my back, hey, it was over from there. It was over from there. Now when we stopped, she tried to choke me out. So I was like, hey, but that's how we fell in love, man.
She tried to put that combative reverse chokehold on you, huh?
Yeah, we fell in love on the Autobahn in Germany.
That's great. We were stationed at Schweinfurt too.
Oh, were you?
Yeah, I was in 1/7th Field Artillery. But this was like
I was in 1/7.
Really?
Yeah, what year?
Wow, it was 2003.
I was there. I left in 2004.
Wow. Okay.
I was in Alpha Battery at that time.
I was in Surrey Battery. I was in the motor pool. I was one of the in charge of the PLL clerks.
Man, what a small world.
Wow.
So we at the same place, same time.
Look, we have so much in common. The first time I met him, he had on the Converses. Now, for some of you may not understand Chuck Taylors, or we call them Chucks.
Yeah.
That was number one. So we was locked in from there. Then he had an afro, and when I retired in 2015, I let my hair grow, and I had an afro. So I was like, yeah, we connected.
Yeah.
And look, here we go, Schweinfurt. Okay, so let's talk about MWR. What's your position in MWR? What do you do?
I'm a regional director at MWR Financial, which is the 5th position out of 6. You know, so unexpectedly, because I kind of reached those ranks pretty fast in about 8 months. You know, but I have an amazing team. An amazing team. So if we was a football team, yeah, we'll be in the Super Bowl. We would consistently be in the playoffs, get to the big game, man. Amazing team.
Competing for that ring.
That's it.
That's right. And speaking of the ring, can you show the ring and explain what that actually, what you do to get that ring? What does that actually what does that exemplify?
Well, it's the $1 million residual club, right? So they give us a ring to symbolize having $1 million in the bank that grows at 8%. So everyone that comes into the company and they reach at least $200 a day, $1,000. What is it? $1,000 car bonus and $1,250 car bonus and $1,000 presidential bonus. You'll get the ring, because that's gonna add up to about $8,250. So it symbolizes having $1 million in the bank, growing at 8%. That's the income that you have to earn in order to get that ring.
And it's not that many people in the company that have that ring, is that right?
Yeah, it's 7. I was number 5. You know.
And you're literally one position away from the top, correct?
One position away from the top, you know. But I'm excited, you know. And with the team that I have, you know, it can happen this year. It can happen next year. But I'm enjoying the ride.
Awesome. And just for the record, I'm part of his team, and my goal is to help him get to that next level. That's on my vision board. Just FYI. Okay. So, all right. So, if you don't mind, could you share with us? This is a two-part question. One, why did you choose MWR? And two, your testimony. So that probably will cover both questions. So, what's your testimony about MWR?
Okay, so how I got to MWR, you know, I was in a practice company prior to this, and they had an amazing leader by the name of Brian Ian Biggie, right? And he does this game changer every year, actually every quarter, and I haven't missed one since 2016. And one day, you know, he called us in and he was sharing with us about MWR. And so he gave us a presentation, and it was two things that he said that locked me in. He says, the experts do all the work, and they have guaranteed pay. And then when he showed us the comp plan, it was all downhill from there. Yeah. And so since being in MWR, what it's done for me was, you know, it has 4 pillars. You know, we have Money Max, which is all about reducing your taxes. We have Credit Max, which is all about raising your scores. We have Equity Max, is all about debt elimination, and Wealth Max is all about wealth generation, right? So, using the strategy coming out of the gate, you know, with Money Max, uploaded 2 pay stubs, got back an instant $600 pay raise into my check.
Now, that's your military check, retired, or is that your company from where you worked at?
Well, actually both, because I adjusted my W-4 from my retirement check as well.
Okay.
But I got back $600 with the company.
Okay.
You know, that I was working for at the time, and I was a VA benefit advisor on Fort Stewart. So then we took that extra cash flow. My wife and I, our credit score jumped over 800. We eliminated our debt. I was able to pay off a 30-year mortgage in 14 years.
That's amazing.
16 years early. Now the amazing part was it saved me $300,000 in compound interest.
Wow.
Way more than what the house was even worth when I purchased it. You know, so I saved more money than what I actually purchased the house for, which lets you know how the banks is getting over with this compound interest.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We was able to eliminate all our debt. Then we took some 401k money that we had and some IRAs, and we converted them to the private reserve account, and we bought some land out there in California.
Wow.
So we did everything that MWR has to offer, even the bill shredder. You know, I saved $600 on the cable bill and $150, I believe, on my phone bill. So it's been amazing.
Yeah, that is awesome. Did you have to pay any penalty or any fees to convert your 401 and all that over?
No, it was seamless, right? Only thing I had to do was authorize the person that was holding my account, which I was going through Fidelity at the time, link them up with the experts with MWR, and once I authorized Fidelity to speak with Cal Choice, they took over from there.
Wow. So you didn't have to pay no taxes, you didn't have to pay no fees, and you didn't have to come out of pocket.
Didn't have to come out of pocket. And it's nothing like buying 14 acres of land and don't even have to write a check.
That is awesome. I think for the amount that it costs for that, you can buy less than an acre here in Hinesville, something like that.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, I bought 1 acre of land where I live at now. It cost me $40,000.
Wow.
And I'm purchased just recently. I just purchased some land in Richmond Hill that cost me $95,000. So for an acre and a half.
And that deed is hanging up in the Ivory complex.
Hanging up in the Ivory complex. Hey, I'm just waiting. You know, they say wealthy people buy land and wait, right?
Yeah.
So while other people wait to buy land, so don't wait.
No.
Buy the land and then wait. There you go.
That is amazing. And one of your catchphrases that you live by or you state all the time is what?
Better than amazing.
I love that phrase. I add a little word to it, awesome too, but you know that's just me. I always like adding stuff. I like adding stuff to stuff.
Yeah.
So an interesting thing about your testimony that also captured me was you fired your boss.
That's right. When I joined MWR, it was back in 26 October.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, I had no idea that this coronavirus was about to affect my life, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in March 31st, I was laid off my job for 90 days. It was supposed to be a 90-day layoff.
Mm-hmm.
Worked on a military installation. And to protect the soldiers, the government contractors was released. So they, so the units or the company or what I want to call them, the post can find some protective measures to put in place to keep everybody safe. So we were out for 90 days, but the problem was it was 90 days without pay. Yeah. Wow. So, but I did have MWR. And because of MWR and this amazing team that I have, I was still able to take care of my family. So I always say that if your job is your only source of income, it's like being on life support. So if your job ends, so does your income. Or if your job slows down because people getting hours cut, so does your income. So it was great to have the business to fall back on. And so since I was laid off, I treated my business like a full-time job. And it paid off because in July, when they called me back, I started making 4 times the amount of money. 4 times the amount of money that I was making on my job, I was making in this business. So when they called me back, I turned my equipment in. I say, well, here's the laptop, here's the cell phone, you're fired, and I'm gone. So it was the highlight of my my whole career with MWR Financial. Man, I tell you, it was just truly amazing. Right. And that's why I always say better than amazing.
That's truly accurate. And I like to look at it as like a table. Which is more stable, a table with 4 legs or a table with 1 leg? That's how I look at income. I'd rather have a table with 4 legs. Absolutely. Because if somebody take that 1 leg table away, you got issues. And most Americans are one emergency away from poverty. And I don't think they really realize that. But thanks to MWR Financial, we flipping the script.
Yeah, you really have to look at the mindset that people have. A few years ago when the government shut down the first time, it was amazing to me that we had 6-figure earners. We had people with master's degrees making some good money, was falling short, couldn't pay their mortgage because even though they made a lot of money, they were still living paycheck to paycheck.
Right.
So it lets you know it's not about how much money you make, it's about how much money you keep.
That's right.
And the government was shut down for what, 31 days? 31 days. So you couldn't even sustain yourself for 1 month. That was amazing to me that so many people were struggling financially with high paying jobs and education. So, education is subject specific. So, I don't have anything against traditional education, but you need some type of financial education.
I concur. I've been part of the company since May, and I've learned so much about finances just by spending time with my financial mentor and my regional director. It is amazing. And also too, I look at it as and people don't think about it, especially military, we kind of get comfortable, but what would happen if they don't pay the military or stop your retirement check? I think about that often. And people say that would never happen. Well, how do you know? So again, that's where I go back to that table, 4 leg, one leg. It's a no-brainer for me.
Well, nobody would think if you had a government job, you'll be at risk.
Exactly.
I mean, when I was growing up, they would always say, "Hey, go to the military because you got a stable job."
Mm-hmm.
Now, how many people jobs are really stable in the military?
Correct.
I mean,
correct.
Especially the military nowadays. Back in when I first came in, it took a lot to get kicked out of the military. Now, I mean, it doesn't take that much.
That's true.
So how really secure is the military now?
Right.
And then I was on a government contract. So how stable is the government? Right. So you're on your own.
Exactly. And I'm a retiree as well, and I'm a contractor, logistics and supply on Fort Stewart as well. But I still wanted to, first of all, I have 3 teenagers. 2 of them are in college, and one of them is in high school. And I don't know if you ever went to the grocery store for 3 teenagers before. So it was a no-brainer for me that, yeah, I'm making good money, but just like some 6-figure earners, they're making good money, but they're not keeping the money. It's
right.
all going out. So when you're in that position, you're financially at risk. That's what I like to call it.
It's all about cash flow.
That's right.
That's right.
So in closing, sir, I'm gonna ask you this: if you could tell anyone who's listening, anyone who's watching, give them some advice of why you want to be a part of MWR Financial, what would that advice be?
To hop in as soon as you can. Because here's the thing, most people don't realize that we live in the most wealthiest country in the world. This is America. This is the land of opportunity. But most Americans are not living the American dream. And there's 4 reasons for that, right? Because we got those 4 challenges.
That's right.
Inflation, cost of goods and services are steady rising, but everybody's paycheck is flatlining, which means the value of your dollar is dropping daily. Then we have taxes. The government is taking 1/3 of your taxes. I always tell people, that taxes is your largest expense. Most people don't realize that. When we go out and ask people, what's your largest expense? They'll tell you the mortgage. Or it's the car note, it's my student loan, it's my wife, it's the kids, But they don't realize that when they look at their check and they see the gross and the net and everything in between is taxes, the government takes money out your pocket before you even get it in your hands. And then once you get it in your hands, everywhere you go, you have to what? Pay taxes. So when you start adding up all the sale taxes when you go to the store, the ad valorem taxes when you buy your car, the property taxes when you buy your house. And if you are fortunate enough to be wealthy, you may end up with luxury taxes, So there's over 97 different types of taxes. Most people don't realize that taxes is your largest expense. It's taking 1/3 of your income. So from January to April, you're working for taxes.
Wow. Exactly.
And then we got debt. Because of taxes, most people have to borrow money. And debt has really become the norm in America. You want something, you go into debt. Right. You want a house, go get your home loan. Want a car, go get you a car loan. Want education, go get a student loan. But they don't think about that interest. Remember I told you, the compound interest I saved by paying the house off early. $300,000 saved. That was amazing to me.
It is.
And then we got big business, everybody capitalizing off of you. That's why there's a big spending event or a holiday every single month that businesses are trying to take the money out of your pocket. So a lot of times people tell me that, I would like to do it, I can't afford it. I'm like, yeah, you can. You just got to get your money back from the people that's taking it away from you. Right. So they found out how to get the money away from you. MWR show you how to get the money back in your pocket.
Amazing.
Yeah,
awesome.
It's great.
And then I know I said that was my last question, but I have one more question or one more statement or something I want you to elaborate on. What if somebody works under the table or got a side hustle or what have you? Or if they got a legitimate business like a real estate agent or insurance agent, how would MWR benefit them? For especially the ones that work under the table. Like there's a lot of people that have loan services and things of that nature because they're trying to get away from taxes, right? So they have businesses that's what I call under the table.
Right. Now, that's a good question, and I know a lot of people like that. Especially the lawn care guys. They're mainly the main ones. You know, I tell you, you're losing a lot of money. You're losing a lot of money because there's over 475 different tax deductions that you can take, right? So most lawn care business, they have a Ford F-150 that they probably paid $63,000 for, probably a 12-foot trailer that they done paid $1,200 for, $6,000 lawnmowers. They may have more than one. Weed eaters that's $300-400. I don't know what the prices are, but they put fuel in all these things. They're driving all over town, so they're losing the mileage. They're losing the depreciation on all those things. And I try to educate someone like, man, you know, you just bought that truck. And the moment you drove it off the lot, you lost value. How about recovering some of the depreciation that your vehicle got? How about just writing off the whole vehicle on this year's taxes? You know, so people don't think about the money that they're losing by trying to save money under the table. Right. Hey, come out.
And in closing, I just want to end with this statement. This might be a little bit deep, but I end with this statement. I truly believe that God did not put us here on earth to make other people wealthy. I truly believe that. So what we do here is we just flip it around. Everything that we work for now works for us. So I thank you for your time. This is Clovel Oliphant, Area Director with MWR Financial, and Mr. Charles Ivory, the Waymaker. I thank you for your time. Appreciate everything.
Appreciate you. Enjoy having me.
Okay.